The main difference between the universal design for learning and traditional teaching methods is that the, okay, I'll say it like this. The UDL is designed to help students learn in different ways. Like from the beginning, that is the whole purpose of UDL, to help students learn in different ways. While the traditional teaching methods that pretty much everybody knows about is that we teach the same way across the board, no matter what. This is what we do. And then later on, we'll go back and maybe change or manipulate a few things if we see students struggling. The UDL creates a path that works for everyone at the beginning, no matter how they move or how they learn. I guess I used to be on the traditional teaching side, and now I understand more so that every single lesson I do a visual, I do a hands-on, I do an auditory. Like I make sure that anybody in my classroom, no matter what level you are, I have something for you. And at the end, you still are learning the same thing, but in different ways. I guess I really didn't realize that until taking this class that I really do a lot of differentiation when it comes to um, teaching. All right, when we talk about comparing and contrasting the time requirement, in the beginning, UDL is gonna cause you to plan. You can't just go in there and be like, okay, we're probably gonna do this today and it'll work. You have to be prepared from the top so that by the time you get to the bottom, you can rest. When you're doing traditional planning, it seems faster, but at the end, you're going to be struggling because you're going to be missing so many different things that were not covered because you didn't have a different plan for the differentiation of learning that your students need. And of course, I'm only speaking for myself. When I utilize uh, UDL, I am creating tools that cover pictures, videos, hands on activities, everything. A really great example, actually, today, students were learning integers. So I gave an example first of them watching me go to a pool. So I like walked in the classroom and I said, okay, when I get in the pool, what is happening to my body? And they had to explain that I'm going down into the pool. So that's where the negative numbers are. Then they had to talk to me about like the height of the pool and explain that integers are positive and negative, big and small. Then they went from there to watch a video of a guy rapping a song about integers, and the video pauses and they have to answer questions based off the song that they just heard. Then they had to write that down. Then they they moved on from that to a video tutorial of how to answer the same questions but through a video game. Then they went from that to talking about it and discussing it out loud and writing it down on a whiteboard. So the time that I spent creating all of these different activities was a lot on the front end, but by the end of the class period, all the different students who I know needed to find something that fit them, it worked. So for me, that's the win, and that's the biggest difference, because had I taught the lesson the way it was supposed to be, it would have been only one activity and lecturing. And I just don't think that everybody can learn like that. Okay, so we are all about choice over here. There is a huge impact when you're utilizing UDL on student engagement and academic success, because when students have the choice on how they learn, it goes for more interest. I mean, it creates the dynamic of, it's the perfect choice board, shall I say. You're still gonna learn. Like I think some teachers feel like if they give students a choice that they're losing because they don't have control over the element of how they learn. But I'm like, you still have control. You choose two things for them. They're gonna learn the same thing at the end of it, and we're all happy. Whether that's them. Some kids don't like the rapping or watching the video today. They just didn't like it, but they did like when I was pretending to go into a pool. They could visualize that a little bit more. And then other kids just wanted to be able to write it on the whiteboard. And of course, I have my gamers. So when we talk about success all the way around, I think the lowest score I had, because they had an exit ticket, was a 70%. So you're talking about 70, 80, 90, 100% based off of three different ways on the same subject of integers. So it's a huge impact, them having the choice, or even sometimes we do stations. And even though everybody has to do stations, they get to choose which grade they want. So if you have four stations, you have four different activities that you have to choose from. Okay, which one of those do you want the grade for? Because even though you're having to do all of them, you still have the opportunity to decide, hey, I really didn't even like that. That's why I didn't do that good. So choice makes a huge difference, and them having the ability to hear their own voice when it comes to math is a huge deal. You definitely have to make time to plan. When it comes to transitioning from regular teaching, your traditional old school, this lesson plan, and don't veer away from it, and everybody's just going to have to get it, you got to plan. I mean, there's just no way to get around that. But I'm telling you, like, the end results are always going to be amazing. I did an activity where students had to learn about percentage error, and the way it was listed in the book, it just wasn't cool. It was boring me. So I pulled out pogo sticks. We went outside. They had to guess how many times they would jump on the pogo stick, then try and jump on the pogo stick and write down the actual amount of times that they jumped. And then we took it back to the classroom and utilized what was in the book, and they were able to really understand what was going on with percentage error. But I had to plan for that. I knew that lesson was coming up. I knew that it bored me, and I knew it would bore the kids. Okay, what can I do? Who are the students I have in this room that when they get to this lesson, they're going to be fidgeting because they don't know how to understand what's going on, or not necessarily that they don't know how to, but it's so uninteresting to them that they're not even going to want to do the assignment. So we have to think outside of the box, and we have to be okay with challenging ourselves on how to challenge our students so we can get the best results.